constant communication of the constant value, the consistent value proposition that I can provide is that this is where I want to go. I'm willing to work hard for it, and I want to attract people who are willing to help me or want to be part of what I'm doing. Guys, this is the meta play. This is it. This is the meta play. This is what you should be doing. And I'm always promoting this, and I have to remind people out there that this is the way to do it, guys. This is the way to do it. What's up, internet friends, founders, and the entrepreneurs? You've made it, and you're here. It's Venture Daily, news bits from a founder's perspective. What's up, guys? I hope you are having a wonderful day today, whether you're out on the road, heading to work, whether you're a startup founder, or you're just one of the entrepreneurs that want to know what's going on in the venture capital and startup world. Guys, we got a great show for you on this Thursday. I hope you're having a wonderful day. We're going to be talking about a couple news bits today. The first and foremost is going to be around social media and whether it's terrible for recruiting. Apparently, 1 out of 4 companies says that social media is the worst place to recruit from. However, in my experience, being socially attuned of sorts, I found that social media is actually a fantastic place to recruit, but it's mostly based on my own internal network. Now, as a founder entrepreneur, I have a very close and I have a broad network, but I have a close network of individuals that I know that I would love to work with. So maybe that makes the difference. So for you, if you're a founder or entrepreneur-curious individual, then maybe, or not maybe, but I would look first at your network and see whether you can leverage any of those. But we're going to get into that. The second thing that I think is super important for any founders or entrepreneurs out there is this second article. And the second article is something that I agree with in so many ways, just by the title alone. The title alone that says that startups need to tirelessly communicate their value proposition all the time. We're going to be talking about that. And the reason is very simple. I'll give you the TLDR. The reason is because even though you might say it every day, there are people who haven't heard it yet. And so it's important to keep trumpeting the reasons that you are here and the value proposition that you provide to the world from your startup. Last but not least, in today's final word for founders and communities, I want to talk about the progress of my book and a couple of conversations that I had just yesterday with some startup founders. Guys, I'm glad you're here. It's Venture Daily. Let's get into this first one. 1 in 4 companies say social media is the worst place to recruit talent. This is by Gabrielle Whitehead. 1 in 4 companies, 24%, say that social media is the least effective method of recruiting. 80% of businesses believe that interviews are an essential way to hire the best talent. However, 21% of the companies say that they regret relying on interviews alone in the hiring process and instead say they had wished they also had tested candidates' skills. That seems like a pretty obvious point. I mean, if you're going to be hiring anyone, you should probably test for their skills, especially from an engineering perspective. When it comes to the work that we do and the startups that I've built, whenever we've hired engineering talent, number one, they have to come from my network. They have to be people that I've known and have taken a chance on before or worked with before. And we also make sure that they go through a development test of sorts, especially around the technology in my past, blockchain technology, and whether they were actually able to build stuff. And so I'm not an expert in blockchain technology, but I do know how to fork a coin. I do know how to build in it. And so there are certain tests that need to be done faux show. These recruiting statistics were unveiled by a new survey compiled by Clutch, which surveyed 505 full-time employees in the U.S. Clutch's research sheds important light on what companies deem as the most effective and ineffective recruiting strategies are. The findings of the report could prove useful in helping small businesses streamline the recruitment processes and find the most effective ways to hire the best talent. So let's take a closer look at some of the survey results. For example, with most of a quarter of companies admitting that social media is the least effective method for recruiting, for small businesses using social media as their primary way to find the best talent, they may be better off focusing more heavily on other platforms and methods to find potential recruits. I would somewhat disagree with this here. Now, have I used recruiting firms in the past to hire expanded development teams quickly? Absolutely. However, these recruiting firms are the firms that I've used in the past and I've taken a chance on in the past, and they've done a pretty good job. However, when it comes to building a team, I would say the best place to start is your network. Who have you been networking with? Who are the people that you've worked with in the past? Who do you trust? This is a big deal. And so one of the big problems often with founders and entrepreneurs who are especially first-time founders is you have no network. You don't have friends that you can leverage. And so if you have a great idea, you better begin networking, going to startup communities, going to startup meetups, conferences, these types of things, having those conversations, being intentional, connecting with people who could potentially help you in your journey of making your idea a reality. At the end of the day, you can find 1,000 plus one engineers that can build stuff. But the key, especially for a founder, so listen up all you founders out there, a key is you have to be able to click with them. Can you see yourself being able to work with these individuals 5 to 10 years? That's a big thing to consider, guys, when you're starting and building out a team. Small businesses who rely on interviews alone and refrain from testing a potential candidate's skills and experience for the position may want to reconsider the recruitment process strategy and take time to test a prospective employee's skills more ardently in light of Clutch's findings. Some small businesses may also want to reconsider their interviewing style in the bid to find the right talent. As Jesse Silkoff, founder of My Roofing Pal, an online marketplace which connects customers with local roofers, who ended up recruiting an unsuitable candidate which aced the interview but struggled with the role, commented in a blog about Clutch's research, quote, "I used to use a strict by-the-books question after question interview style." Yeah, we know that's just not enough. I have actually met, and listen up here, guys, I have actually met professional interviewees. Let me say that again. I have literally met professional interviewees. And you might say, well, what the hell is that? What's a professional interviewee? I'm talking about someone who literally goes and works at a job, works it there for 3, 6, 9 months, can't do the job, but they're really good at interviewing. And so they hop and they bounce from startup to startup to startup, company to company to company. You got to be careful of these guys. You got to dig underneath a little bit and find out more than just those really silky smooth answers that they give you in the interview meeting. Quote, "I think if I had a less rigid interviewing style, I would have noticed that his answers seemed very generic." Makes sense?
Nope.
Unfortunately, that ended up being someone who said all the right things, but didn't have the qualifications or the work ethic when it came to actually following through, Silkoff continued. In terms of the 2020 recruiting statistics, check out some of the other findings from Clutch's report. For example, 24% of companies say that they spend more time on online job postings than any other recruiting strategy. And 23% of survey participants say they plan to invest more in recruitment technology. Finally, 11% of companies say that they're planning on investing more in an employee referral program. The research also found that 8% of companies plan to invest in passive recruiting. This statistic forecasts small business strategies over the next year. It involves attracting employees that might not be actively looking for a job. Clutch's research shows that the important role of recruitment in strategies play. Hiring the best people for a job remains critical. Actually, that's pretty much one of the three fundamental things that a founder needs to do. You didn't know? Let me remind you. Number 1, product vision. Product vision, company vision. Number 2, investments. Number 3, recruiting. If you are a founder, those are your 3 roles. Product vision, company vision, investment, and recruiting. That's your job. If you're not doing any of those 3 right, you're probably not going to succeed. Seriously, you're probably not going to succeed. If you want to compete for top talent and operate a more robust, successful, and profitable business, to do this, you need a strong recruitment strategy in place. Now, I'm going to speak directly to all those founders and entrepreneurs or engineers out there that are looking for a job. And this is actually, I'm going to be talking about this a little bit later in today's show in the final word about the progress of my book. But here's how the economy is shifting. And I want you guys to lean in and listen to this because it's really important. And in many ways, I'm going to be trying to model and lead the charge in this idea. In the future, okay, for all of you guys listening out there, in the future, if you want to find a job, you know one of the best ways to remove all this hiring nonsense, the interviews and all this stuff, you know what's going to grease the wheels of productivity? You know what's going to grease the wheels of that interview? Is if you're on YouTube. It's okay, I'll wait. I'll wait for you to think about that for a second, guys. I'm serious. In the world that we're moving towards, in a mobile first, in a video first world, my friends, people are going to be looking for you. They're going to be looking you up. And you know what? One of the best ways to but to grease the wheels of an interview process is if they could see you on video, communicating effectively your value proposition, what you're able to do as an engineer, why you're good at X, why you're good at Y, why you can do Z. Guys, I'm telling you, I've trained hundreds of people in the last community that I was with, hundreds of people to begin learning how to communicate themselves online and on video. The reason is because that's going to be one of the biggest differentiators in hiring in the future. Yeah. You can go to LinkedIn, you can go to all the Indeed, you can put your resume wherever you want, but at the end of the day, if they're going to choose from 100 different people and you're one of the only people that have YouTube videos about who you are, what you're capable of doing, you're going to have a better chance. They've already been able to see you communicate. They've already been able to see whether they like you or whether they have any biases towards you or against you. Who knows? All I know is that in a video first, mobile first world, I'll tell you, when it comes to any type of interviews, let's say I'm going to go and do an interview. You know what's great? Let's just be super real. I can't tell you how many times I've interviewed venture capitalists, okay, on my VC hunting show, where they have told me, hey, I watched X, I watched Y, I watched your interview with Tim Draper, I watched your interview with Bill Bryan, I watched your interview with Heidi Roizen, I watched your interview with fill in the blank, okay? This has allowed them to have a higher comfort level with communicating with me, and seeing my personality, how I communicate, how I ask questions, gives them a calmness, gives them a comfort, a trust level of sorts that allows them to say, okay, Peter's harmless, he's a good guy, he's a great communicator, he asks great questions, and you know what, I'm going to enjoy this thing. Does that make sense? And so the fact that I'm just on video and I'm doing this every day and I'm pumping the content out every day is a huge boon. It's a win for me. Wherever I go, you can Google me, you can search me, you're going to find videos of me communicating, and you're going to get to know my personality from a small snapshot. And that small snapshot goes a long way. Let's get into this next article, guys. It's actually very close to what we've talked about right here. But here we go. Let's jump into it. Why startups must tirelessly communicate their value proposition. This is by Lucas Miller. Kind of like this whole idea of doing video and constantly talking about who you are on video. Most business owners love what they do. Me included, guys. I love what I do. Unfortunately, much of the world doesn't necessarily care, as reflected in the high failure rate among startups. Unless entrepreneurs convince people that what they're selling is absolutely special, consumers will simply choose alternatives that are more widely available. Entrepreneurs, therefore, must reiterate their company's value proposition, i.e., a feature or attribute that makes a product or service appealing to customers. Secondly, people's attention spans have become extremely monetizable, especially online. More than half of the business professionals said that a great story captures their focus and keeps them engaged, according to Prezzi's 2018 State of Attention report. And 33% of respondents said that visual stimulation, guys, Visual stimulation is critical to maintaining their attention, and the mind share should be converted to revenue. Guys, can I just talk about this again? Visual stimulation. If you are a contractor, you are a consultant, or an engineer, let's just stop at those three: contractor, consultant, or engineer for hire, you should be on YouTube, constantly talking about who you are, what you're all about, your skill sets, and the value proposition of what you can do. Look at what I'm doing, guys. I am an entrepreneur turned angel investor turning venture capitalist. That's what I want to be. That's what I want to do. I'm constantly talking about this idea every video. Haven't you heard? Right? And so this consistency, this constant communication of the constant value, the consistent value proposition that I can provide, is that this is where I want to go. I'm willing to work hard for it, and I want to attract people who are willing to help me or want to be part of what I'm doing. Guys, this is the meta play. This is it. This is the meta play. This is what you should be doing. And I'm always promoting this, and I have to remind people out there that this is the way to do it, guys. This is the way to do it. Startups that capture interest are the best position to convert audience into buyers. On social media, business websites, and distribution sites, for example, Amazon, the user journey must be seamless and compelling. The engagement rate is more than 3 times higher for omnichannel, a retail strategy that integrates different shopping methods available to consumers, versus a single channel, according to ClickZ, a resource website for marketing leaders. Customer retention is also 90% higher for omnichannel. Entrepreneurs also act with urgency to achieve important milestones, but it's actually small communication details that steer consumers to their shop. The outsized power of Google search and mobile search make marketing fluency a critical skill. 10% of U.S. retail sales come from e-commerce, and 79% of customers order via mobile. Are we in a mobile-first world now, guys? Absolutely. According to the 2018 study by OuterBox, a digital agency, entrepreneurs should adapt their content for small mobile screens. Bum, 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 bum. And with search results, concise and actionable info should lead to some type of conversion, whether subscribing to emails, signing up for notifications, or checking out with a shopping cart. A kitchen appliance won't sell on Amazon if it's described just like any other device, lacking the uniqueness and special features that compel audiences to tap buy and check out. Business owners must out-promote and out-hustle, which means snagging eyeballs and increasing conversion sales. Experts say that websites should capture a person's attention within the first 10 to 15 seconds to keep them engaged, and also that people only read 28% of words on a typical web page. So here are a couple of ways to make your message compelling, sexy, and actionable. We're going to get into that in just a minute, but guys, listen. I know it might be self-serving, and I know it might be moving yourself outside a comfort zone, but I'm telling you, if you're a contractor, you're a consultant, or you're in the market to be hired to move to a new job, okay, you're in transition, or you want to be in transition. If this is the case, you need to be on video, you need to be on YouTube, you need to learn how to communicate to a dead staring screen and a dead camera. Like, seriously, I'm serious. I'm dead serious about this, because you might live for the next 10 to 20 years. If you're going to be living for the next 10 to 20 years, I'm telling you, if you're on video, it's going to be easier for you to get a job. Point blank, period. Let's get back to it, guys. So you want to hear a couple ways to make your message compelling, sexy, and actionable. Number 1, capitalize on micro moments. Yes, micro moments. Seek and ye shall find. Small tasks may seem insignificant during a busy day, but they're becoming crucial micro moments for brands, per Think with Google. A micro moment is when a potential customer grabs a smartphone to compare prices, search for nearby restaurants, find a local CPA or attorney, etc. According to Google, 91% of people interrupt a task to use mobile and research information, while 82% consult a phone at a store while deciding in real time what to buy. Search and mobile traffic are important for establishments that have a digital presence. Startups can capture sales by giving actionable messages in real time, by understanding exactly what motivates user queries, and by answering exactly what they're asking. Businesses should therefore create content that gives customers the info they seek in those precious micro moments during the command of their intention. In the case of No Limit Creatives, for example, the firm uses keywords like unlimited graphics and videos and perfect design solution to attract clients who are searching for real time for top-notch designs. So here's the point. Here's what's going to happen in the future. Recruiters are going to be going through all these different types of things, and when they read, because they might be a little traditional, they'll read on the top of your resume that you have a YouTube channel where you're talking about the stuff that you are able to do. Guess what they're going to do? They're going to have a micro moment. They're going to open up their phone and they're going to Google, or they're going to YouTube Joe Smith or whatever your name is, and then blammo, your YouTube pops up. They're going to click on that first video and they're going to say, oh, this Joe Smith is a really cool dude. He's actually speaking intelligently about this particular code or this particular role. He seems to have some wherewithal. He seems to have the ability to communicate somewhat effectively, and he seems nice and funny. You know what? I think I'm going to email this guy instead of read all these other resumes with no pictures, which the Asians have done well. In the Asian countries, your resume includes a picture. But these resumes with no pictures, and everything kind of bleeds the same because I'm hiring for a Java developer, and all these people have Java experience. Differentiate yourself. Learn how to use mobile video. Quote, we constantly update our website so that potential clients always have access to information they need to make the right decision, explained founder Jeff Minibach during a recent email exchange. Great content is our gateway for online conversions. You hear that, guys? Great content. Now, I'm not saying that I put out great content, but I put it out consistently. And I love my small community. The second thing is use buzzwords and unique descriptions. Buzzwords are great, but you know what? Why don't you just make a video about yourself? That's probably a better way to go. And by the way, this applies to anyone. Whether you're a contractor, consultant, or you're just looking for a job, or if you're a brand, or if you're a startup or a company, doesn't matter. You should be on video, period. Guys, welcome to the new world. Legendary coach John Wooden told his basketball players to think about confusion clearly. America's hyper-competitive marketplace is flooded with copycat goods. Worse, their similar descriptions look identical to impatient buyers who think they're all the same. Indistinguishable product. So too has content marketing become a copycat world. It's overrun with stolen words as marketers unapologetically plagiarize the vocabularies of goods with high conversions. For entrepreneurs, marketing fluency no longer means properly defining your merchandise or service on product labels or websites. Crowded phrases and confusing jargon could make your product indistinguishable from competitors. Business owners must go above and beyond to promote a better mousetrap. Use buzzwords that imply your offering is more optimized than what's out there. Such eye-snagging terms include unlimited, perfect, guaranteed, and phrases like over 100,000 satisfied customers or 2 decades of delivering pizza awesomeness. These could be good words to use. However, I would say forget the buzzwords, my friends. Forget everything that this guy's saying. Go on video. Another approach is to use unique words that describe hot trends. In the case of GDEN, a marketing intelligence nonprofit institute, marketers emphasize their team's cutting-edge research in decentralization, distributed ledgers, mobility, and smart city technologies that are in the forefront of exciting innovation. Such an approach generates buzz because early adopters and tech enthusiasts are curious about the new advancements that will shape the world. Ask, and it shall be given. When it comes to the scope of business, all entrepreneurs need this to make it happen. I would say that you don't need all those buzzwords. You need to learn how to communicate yourself on video. Let me know your opinions below on the first article. When it comes to recruiting, social media, maybe not a great place. My answer, your network. So start networking. When it comes to startups communicating their value proposition consistently, yeah, do it. But if you're an individual with a brand, you probably should be on video. Let me know your thoughts below, guys, and let's move in to the final word.
Did you know that there's even more value than just audio or video? Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok at VC Hunting, and make sure to sign up for the VC Hunting newsletter, where you'll be able to get weekly news on venture capital, startups, founder stories, and the occasional wisdom extracted from Peter's brain. Go to vchunting.com to sign up. And now, back to the episode.
Welcome back to Venture Daily, the fastest growing daily show in all of venture media. This segment here, our final words for founders and the community. Guys, I want to give you an update on how the book is going. The title is called Gravity, and I'm going to repeat my value proposition here, just like this last news article said. So the title is called Gravity. Gravity. You want to know the subtitle? It's the subtitle says how to create a gravitational brand, or I'm thinking about using a different word here, how to create an irresistible brand, unlimited deal flow, and infinite feedback. Not bad. And so in this book that I'm plugging away on, I'm talking about this idea of gravity, or bringing people to yourself. Now, the two articles that we just talked about play very much well in line with what I'm writing, because I want to give you guys my everything. I want to give you all of my 15 plus years of community building and how to create an irresistible brand for yourself. As you could probably imagine, a lot of that is around video and leveraging video and learning how to use video, learning how to communicate your value proposition consistently, learning how to become your online self. Many people don't realize that initially that you can't just turn on a camera and be yourself. There's some sort of change that happens whenever you communicate to a blank, lens in front of you, right? And so there needs to be practice that happens. And so much of my book is not only the tactics of how to create an irresistible brand, a gravitational brand, unlimited deal flow, and infinite feedback, right? There's a lot of tactics and strategy in that, but so much of the early parts of my book is around who you are, what you want to be, the vision for your life. And so I'm really excited about this book that I'm writing, and it's because I'm giving you 15 years of experience building my own brand, building communities around myself, and having those communities co-build with me, live with me, work with me, understand my journey, and can be a part of it as well. So I hope that I finish this thing in the next couple months or so. I'm plugging away at it, but I wanted to give you guys an update because I got an email last week or so of someone just being a nice community member saying, "Hey, how's the book? I see you, bro. I see you. I got you, man." The book's going. I got a couple of good chapters in yesterday, and today, after this video, I expect to get back to the grind. I really need to knock out this book. It's going to be great, and I'm looking forward to anyone out there that's listening that wants to read it. I know it's going to be helpful. I know it's going to be thought-provoking when it comes to the 2020s to 2030s and beyond. Your brand, your personal brand, is going to be more valuable now than ever before, and it's going to be a huge differentiator for you in the market. Trust me, I know. Having been on video for 15 plus years, guys, I know. So guys, have a great Thursday. I hope this was an encouraging episode for you guys today. Enjoy the workday. It's Friday tomorrow, baby. We're moving into the weekend, and I can't wait to get back on the track. Get back on the track, guys, and go karting. Have a great one. We'll see you guys next time.